All right, welcome. Hi, I'm Andrea, and this is a Yin Yoga class. So, Yin is a class that involves holding poses for 2 to 4 minutes at least, so we can get into the deeper layers beyond the muscle and into the connective tissue. And we're going to be using some props. We'll be using a bolster, and if you don't have a bolster, grab a cushion from your sofa. Something that's pretty supportive is recommended. At least one blanket from your bed. This is a Yin Yoga blanket. It's a tightly woven blanket. I have two of them. And then I also have two blocks. We're going to start by sitting up with the blocks in supported fish. So you'll take the first block on its high side. And then the second block, I'm going to suggest the medium side for supported fish. And drape at least one blanket over both of them for some padding. And then as you come back onto your blocks, your first block, that medium height, is going to come under your shoulder blades. And the second block will come under the base of your head. So you can drape your arms down to the side. And you can use your bolster under your knees, if that feels good. Or you can do a variety of shapes with your legs. You can let them out long, or you can bring the soles of the feet together and the knees open wide. Take a couple of rolls of the wrists and the ankles. Make sure you've turned off all distractions, your cell phone's off. You found a quiet place to practice. Maybe you're turning the lights down low. And then close your eyes so you can begin to draw inward. Take a nice deep inhale breath through the nose. Bring it down your throat and let it fill your lungs. Feel your ribcage expand. And exhale, empty out. Good. Take another inhale breath. Exhale, sigh it out. One more time, just like that. Inhale. And exhale. So tonight's class, I've been thinking a lot about how yoga is really like a medicine. And that coming to my mat on a daily basis has been really so beneficial to me in this time of stress and anxiety and worry. When we think of medicine, this Yin class is a prescription for you to customize exactly to your needs. So anytime you feel any discomfort in a pose, one that is sharp shooting pain, a burning, a twitching, something that you know is not right, I want you to move out of the pose and honor your body. Make some adjustments. But in Yin, we do want to create an amount of tension as we move body parts away from each other, or compression as we move body parts toward each other. And we're going to rate those sensations on a scale of 0 to 10. And finding that right amount for you somewhere in the 5 to 7 zone, that Goldilocks position, something that's not too easy and not too difficult. Just keep breathing here, recognizing that we all need to fuel our bodies. Our bodies are a vessel. We want to fill the body with good, positive fuel. And fuel could come in various forms, in forms of food, breath, thought, movement. Body can be a depository for both positive and negative fuels. So let's just focus on the positive tonight. What can we fill ourselves up with that's going to benefit us in a way that medicine can? Take one more inhale breath here. Fill up. Fill up with that life force and exhale, let it go. Slowly move out of your supported fish pose. Just roll off to the side. Remove your props. And then just come onto your back without any props here so you can get a nice stretch through the upper back. Maybe bring your knees into chest. This is what we call a rebound, a counter pose. And I'm going to suggest counter poses, but you can do anything you wish that feels good to you. It can be movement, it can be stillness. It's a good time to start to feel the back body starting to wake up from the compression of the blocks. Let's start to move the hips a little bit. We're going to take some dynamic movement. Step the left foot down on the mat, and then with your right knee bent, just move your knee around in a small circle. Before you loosen up your hip. Take the opposite direction as well. And then switch sides. Nice job. All right, come on up to a seat. And we'll switch to our knees. I'm going to open up the shoulders a little bit more with a child's pose. Now, if you need padding under your knees for this, go ahead and place a blanket under your knees. Make sure you open up your blanket and then it's not wrinkly. Come onto that blanket. Bring your blocks with you if you have your blocks and bring them forward. You might need your other blanket here for your forehead. All right, from here, bring your forearms onto your blocks and shift your hips back. So you might need to slide your blocks with you. For child's pose, bring your head to the mat. Big shoulder opener here. And if your forehead is not coming to your mat, slide your blanket under your forehead. Knees are wide, hips are back. Hips could be a little higher, and this is okay too. We'll be here for a couple minutes. Allow your belly to be supported by your thighs. Feel the opening through your shoulders and make sure you have dialed it into your Goldilocks position. Check in with your neck, with your jaw, with your forehead. Just soften those areas. And stay focused on your breath. I find the more that we can focus on being present, the better we feel. We tend to worry less about the future. So stay with your breath here. Soften the belly. Maybe even walk the knees out a little wider if you'd like to get deeper into your hips for child's pose, or you may feel it more in your shoulders. You might have chosen to play some relaxing music in the background. I'll post a Spotify link to this feed a little later. Music can be medicine. It can make you feel uplifted. Bring about those positive thoughts that fill your ears, fill your mind. And take one more inhale breath here. Fill up. Exhale, let it go. Slowly, gently rise up. Come into a tabletop position. Bring your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And let's start to move the spine into a cow pose. Inhale, reach your heart forward, take your tailbone up. Feel that in between your shoulders. Exhale, rounded crow. Here's a good counter pose. Give that big shoulder opener. Tuck your chin. Draw your tailbone down. Inhale, cow. And exhale to cat. So this is a suggested counter movement to the child's pose with the extra shoulder opener, but you can do whatever you like. Listen to your body. Your body knows what it needs. And remember that you can make this practice very individualized. If you prefer not to be on your knees, you can always roll onto your back. All right, let's move into a seated caterpillar. I'm going to just fold my blanket up one more time so that I can sit on it. This is going to lift my hips. Keep my extra folded blanket nearby in case I need it. Keep a block nearby. And send my legs out long. Now, if you notice that your knees are lifting, you can't really see mine because they're blending into the mat. So if your knees are having a hard time straightening out, this would be a good opportunity to use that second blanket. Roll it up into a little tube and place it behind the knees. So we want to support body parts that are not on the earth. And the reason we do that is because when the body parts are lifted, they're floating in midair, then there are muscles surrounding them that are holding them up. So we want to be able to release everything in our yin pose. All right, seated caterpillar. So you're sitting toward the front edge of your blanket, which allows a slight tilt to the bowl of the pelvis, a little bit more room for this forward fold. Bring your bolster onto your lap or your cushion, whatever you thought. Keep your block handy. Because remember, we want to support the whole body in this forward fold. And then start to tuck your chin, round down over the bolster. Now, if your forehead doesn't come all the way onto the bolster, that's okay. You can bring your block under your forehead, or you can stack fists. I kind of like stacking fists because it's a little softer. So I'm just setting my timer here. It's kind of deep. It's not really working in my favor right now today. I'm not very thrilled with it. All right, here we go. Seated caterpillar, check in with your back. So we tuck the chin, draw the belly in as we fold forward over the bolster. And if you notice that this really isn't enough intensity, you can always push the bolster out and fold a little deeper. You may not have that blanket under your knees. If you're extremely flexible, it actually might help to deepen the fold. So I'm going to add on a little blanket under my tummy and bring the bolster under my forehead. So really make this customizable to you. That's what all these props are about. And these poses are really a balm, a soother for your nervous system as we begin to slow down the body, slow down the mind. Just remember to keep your mind focused on your breath. Every now and then do a body scan, starting at the top of your head and noticing all the sensations as you work your way down slowly towards your feet. Check in. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, see if you can soften something. And keep in mind that it's always all right to come out of a pose early, especially if you're feeling a little discomfort in the low back. You have to be careful in these forward bends if you have any preconditions in your low back. So you just back off, keep them up a little higher. Take one more inhale breath here, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Slowly rise up. Move your props out of the way. And come into laying on your back. Good way to release tension out of your low back from that forward bend. And try some pelvic tilts here. Inhale, notice the natural curvature of your low back lifting off the mat. And exhale, press your low back into the mat. Carve the tailbone upward without lifting your hips. Good. Inhale, release. Exhale, pelvic tilts. You're rocking the pelvis back and forth. It's a really small movement, but very important. Very important to be able to mobilize this area, to be aware of this area at all times during your day while you're sitting and while you're walking or standing, especially standing and sitting. Nice. All right, we're going to sit back up. Let's get a couple props out of the way. We're going to use our bolster for a couple poses in a row. So bring it to the front of your mat. Sitting on your right hip, sweep your feet off to the left. Okay? And we're going to start a little bit of dynamic twisting here. So I want you to bring your left hand across your right knee. Face the right. And then twist to the other side. So again, a little bit of movement. First twist we're doing of the evening. Your knees are down. Your left hip might be raised. And so for that, I'm going to recommend you put a blanket underneath the lifted hip, or try to see whether it makes more sense to put it under the anchored hip and see if they even out. All right, a couple more twists here. And then hold. Sit up nice and tall. You'll start to feel it in your left leg. And then start to move your neck. The neck is not one that we typically hold a yin pose for, but it's important to pay attention to your neck, give it some love. Breathe. We're going to fold forward over the front shin. So that's what we're going to use the bolster for. And this is designed to get into your right glutes. So if you don't feel it, then shift your bolster around, depending on what you need. I'm putting it parallel to my front shin and folding over the bolster. If you don't feel this, in the correct intensity for you, that 5 to 7 range, start to extend the back leg behind you. So remember, I have the blanket under my right outer hip, and that's really nice. So I'm basically in swan. But you can keep that back knee bent so it's more like a Z sit, and we're just folding over the bolster. So a lot of weight is in the right outer hip. You can't quite bend over that front shin. You can bring your bolster up to the higher side. See how that feels? Really snuggle in here. Know that you are making changes, positive changes, that are good fuel for your body. Bringing in that prana, that life force through your breath. Bringing in positive thoughts. Just moving your body is good medicine. Maintaining a regular schedule for yourself is always beneficial. So if your body's used to this yin class on a regular basis, I'm really glad you're joining me. Take one more inhale breath here. Fill up. Exhale, let it go. Begin to sit up. Before we move the legs, I want you to also switch the bolster behind you. This time I think I'm going to move the blanket out from underneath my hips. And we'll move into really what's a half saddle, and we'll stretch out the left quad. So you are taking care of the right glutes and folding forward. Now we're going to lean and lay back on the bolster. So you should feel this quite intensely in your left quads. If it's too far for you to lean back, you can always bring your bolster onto the end point. And just tuck a couple blocks behind you. You might have to get out of your pose, but just remember you've swept your feet back. And there you go. See if you can keep your left knee down. If it's lifting, remember we want to keep all of the body parts supported. So you can always put a blanket under that knee. You might have a little bit more weight leaning over onto the left side. That's normal. I'm sorry, the right side. So here's a very supported half saddle with your right leg bent, but if you feel like you want to straighten it out, you can. Now you're in half saddle. It's a little less supported. And sometimes you have to try a couple ways. And sometimes you have to go back to that first way. So remember, we're dialing it in so that we are feeling something. When we feel that level of intensity, we know we are really like ironing out the wrinkles in your fascia or turning all the green lights on the highway. That just increases the communication, the circulation, so many benefits for your body. You may feel it in your left quadriceps, but that ironing out of the fascia will benefit your organs, will benefit your blood pressure. Breathe that in. Remember, your breath is part of that medicine. Let it soothe your nervous system. I know that I'm coming to you on a video and you can open your eyes and see me, but feel free to close your eyes and just listen. Listen to your breath. Listen to your body. I'm just making a few gurgling noises right now.
And take one more inhale breath. Fill up. Exhale, let it go. Go ahead and roll off to your right side. Sit up, release your legs, shake them out. Take whatever rebound you need here. Let's take a little break with the legs. I want to be able to do the same thing on the second side, but I don't want the knees bent and cramped up for too long. So let's go to starfish next. We only need one block, possibly a blanket if the block becomes too high and too extreme for your back. And then make sure you have space on each side of your mat for your arms to stretch out. Lay down. Remember those pelvic tilts we did. Get those going again. So good for you. And on your next pelvic tilt, press the low back in, lift the hips, and slide your block in under your sacrum horizontally. As you lower down, you should feel the bony parts of your hips, of your pelvis, supported by the block. And if it doesn't feel quite right, if it's jamming into your back, then it's probably too high. And if you feel strained in your low back, it's probably too low. It's not supporting you enough. And then start to slide one leg out long and then the other leg out. And then if you've got that room, open up your arms to a T. Close your eyes here. So this is a back bend in the lumbar spine. Check in. If you have a nagging sensation, you think maybe this isn't quite right for me, you can always adjust and use your blanket as a little less of a lift and try that. What we want to do is not only bring flexion to the spine, but also open up the hip flexors, the psoas. So you should feel that along the front side of your body, and this should feel really good for those of us who are doing a lot of sitting during the day. And if you've got the room, really reach in all directions through your toes, through your fingertips. And as you close your eyes, I want you to pretend you're floating above your body and looking down on yourself. And see that shape you're making, that star shape, the 5-pointed star your head being, the 5th point. Just keep visualizing the shape of your body. You are floating over yourself. And you might visualize what your fascia looks like. You stripped away your skin. Your fascia is like a 3-dimensional body stuff. It has no beginning and no end. And so what you may feel in your hips right now or your low back will will have a positive effect on somewhere else in your body, on that super highway. It sheathes your organs, it occupies the joint capsules, it runs through your muscle tissue. It's everywhere. Fascia has really been known to be kind of a magical tissue in the body. It really holds a lot of fabulous potential that scientists are always studying and learning more about. But the practice of Yin Yoga has been around for a very long time. Practicing Yin Yoga can be thought of as a magical yoga practice, really making a big difference in a lot of bodies. Now remember, it's always okay to come out of the pose early. Take one more inhale breath here, fill up. And exhale, let go. Slowly walk your feet in so they're under your knees. Lift your pelvis up, remove the block with the blanket. Slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. This is your opportunity to create some space between the vertebrae and also engage your core muscles, your glutes. Nice. All right. Bring your knees into your chest for your counter stretch or anything else that feels good to you here. This is your opportunity to dial in your specific prescription of your yoga practice. And then roll up to a seat. And we'll switch sides. So this time you're sitting on your left hip. You'll sweep your feet back to the right. And again, we'll use the blanket as we need it. If we're sitting really heavily on the left hip and the right hip's lifted, you might try, I like bringing it under my left hip. That feels better to me. Switch that so you can see the legs better. And this left knee can be swept back as far back as you like, or keep it forward. Let's take a couple twists here. Bring your right hand across your left knee. Look to the left, and then sweep it back to the other side. A couple dynamic twists. This should feel good after starfish. And then we'll hold it looking to the left. Rotate your chin back and forth. You can't reach the floor with your left hand, forming a block under it. Breathe. Sit up a little taller as you inhale. And as you exhale, twist a little deeper. Use the right hand against the left knee. Close your eyes. Tune in. What do you need?
Iyengar, one of the most known teachers of yoga in the West. He said, yoga teaches us to cure what we need not endure, and to endure what cannot be cured. Take one more inhale breath in this twist. And exhale, let it go. Bring your bolster forward. I'm going to fold forward over that front shin. This is where it's important to have the blanket under your left hip. And then adjust the bolster as you need, as you come forward. You should feel this in your right glutes, your right outer hip. And you can always send the the right leg back. You're just coming into swan in a little bit of a different way. But it's also called Z-sit for a reason, because the legs can be in that Z shape. It's really up to you. Snuggle on into your bolster or your cushion. If you need it to be propped up a little bit more, you can always stack a blanket on top. Close your eyes and breathe. You should be feeling this mostly in the left outer hip. The glutes. If it bothers your knee at all, you can always roll onto your back and take a supine figure 4. And if you're ever curious about the breakdowns of these yin postures, you're just learning them, you can't really see my body as well as you'd like, you can always go to yinyoga.com. Bernie Clark has an excellent resource. You want to read up a little bit more about what swan is like, what any of these poses we're doing tonight. Stay present. Stay with your breath. Notice, take a body scan once again, starting with your head. Just tuning in, working down your spine. Remember, holding these poses as long as you do. That's the magic. That's the medicine. One more inhale breath here. Fill up. And exhale, let it go. Begin to rise up. Knees are still swept off to the side. And now we'll move the bolster behind us. This time, come off the blanket so that your hips are down. And you bring that bolster right in behind you. The idea is that we're going to lean back and get into the right hamstrings. The right quads. So it's basically half saddle. But keep your blanket nearby in case your knee lifts. And you can always elevate the bolster. You can set that up for yourself with your 2 blocks that we did last time. So go ahead and lean back.
hang out here. You might be leaning off a lot to the left side. I'm going to put a block under my forearm like this, just on the other side. So that's kind of handy. Gives me a little arm rest so I don't feel like I'm falling off the bolster. Make sure your head's supported, your knee is down. So if it's not on the mat, then it's got a blanket under it. Feel your shoulders, feel your back. Hopefully your low back has this bolster right beneath it. And you might even notice that there's a little punching in the left glute. See if you can release that. We just stretched it out and swung. Breathe here. You can always straighten out the left leg so you're in more of a traditional half saddle. That might feel good on your left knee. Listen to your breath. Those inhales, long and smooth. And the exhales, deep and satisfying. Just want to thank those of you who have tuned in to my live stream tonight. Missing my in-person yoga classes and seeing all the yogis come tune in. I'm really glad you're practicing at home, practicing with me. You're giving yourself that medicine that you need. Whatever that is right now, breathing in positivity, breathing in that prana, that life energy. Just remembering to fill your body with good medicine. Dialing that into your specific prescription. That might be different from day to day. Take one more inhale, back, go up. And exhale, let it go. Go ahead and roll up to your left side. Unwind the legs, sit up. Shake it out. And take whatever remaining movement, pose that you need here. I'm going to lay onto my back and take a little bit of a windshield wiper twist. Twisting can really feel good just before we come into Shavasana. And that's what we're doing. We're preparing for our final resting pose. bring the knees into the chest and roll to one side, the knees to one side. About another minute, so do what you need to do. Remember, this is your prescription, so listen to what you need. Maybe you need to exit the wall. Maybe you need a little bit more neck stretch. Maybe you just need to get into Shavasana early. All right, when you're ready, start to move into your final resting posture. I'm putting the bolster under my knees to support my low back as I lay back. I'm also covering up with a blanket. Bring your head and your heart to the same level. Bring your arms down by your sides. Snuggle your shoulders beneath you to lift your heart 1 inch higher. Close your eyes and release your attention to your breath. Release your mind and release your body. Just let everything go here. This is a pose of surrender, a pose of stillness. Stillness in the body, stillness in the mind. When you're ready, I want you to bring one small movement to your body, and that is a smile. Turn the outsides of your lips up toward your eyes. Now take a deep inhale breath. Allow the chest to rise. Some more movements come back into the body. And begin to move your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Keep that smile going. That is your medicine as well. Turn your head from side to side. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Thank yourself for being here, making it to your mat. And then roll to your favorite side, feet open. And when you're ready, begin to press up to a seat. Closing this practice together. And before we do, I just want to share a book I'm reading right now called How Yoga Works. And it's by Geshe Michael Roach. Just a little synopsis on the back that really plays into our theme today. It says, everyone knows that the Yoga Sutra is the ultimate source of all yoga. What you might not realize is that this ancient book also contains all the secrets you need to know in order to heal both your body and your heart, to overcome any kind of illness or unhappiness, and to reach a place of splendid health, strength, and peace. Let's all inhale together. Reach the arms up, palms meet overhead. Exhale, hands come to your heart center. On your next inhale back, lift your thumbs to your third eye center, that space of intuition and inner knowing, trusting that. And exhaling, bow forward to seal our practice together. From my heart to yours, God bless. Namaste.
I am so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. And thank you. I am so sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. And thank you. Apono, apono.